In this video, I want to break down what a good Dubai investment really looks like in 2026. Not based on hype or promises, but based on how this market actually behaves. And to understand that, we first need to be honest about where Dubai real estate is right now. By the end of 2025, prices have already moved up meaningfully. A lot of future supply is already known. Interest rates are not ultra low, and buyers today are far more informed than they were a few years ago. So, this isn't an early boom where everything goes up, and it's not a crash either. It's what I would call a selection phase, where good decisions still work very well, but careless ones don't get rescued by the market anymore. Now, once you accept that we are in this kind of market, this selection phase, the way you look at good investments automatically changes. Because a good investment in 2026 is not about finding the next hot project. It's about avoiding the ones that only work if everything goes perfectly. And that's where most people get stuck. Most buyers still start with questions like which project will give me the highest ROI? Which area will double fastest? Those are not wrong questions, but they are incomplete. A better question in this phase is what needs to go right for this investment to work and what happens if it does not? Now, let's talk about the real demand, the end users. One of the simplest filters to use in 2026 is this: can I clearly picture who will live in this property? Not who will invest here, but who will actually wake up here, commute from here, raise a family here, or rent here long term for any other reason. When markets cool even a little, end users stay, but investor only demand does not. The difference matters a lot more in this space. Let's talk about the rental yield for a second, because this is where the expectations go wrong. A high rental yield looks good on paper, it looks great on paper, but in reality, consistency matters more. A slightly lower rent with a stable tenant and fewer gaps usually beats chasing the highest number. In 2026, the boring rent is good rent. Another thing people consistently underestimate in Dubai is supply. Not the citywide supply, but a local supply within a very small radius. You could have two buildings launched in the same year at the same price point. One of them rents well and holds value, the other one struggles. And the difference usually comes down to competition and choice. If one building is surrounded by several similar projects, same sized units, same layouts, same target tenants, then tenants and buyers have options. They negotiate harder, they compare aggressively, and the building loses the pricing power very quickly. But the other building might be in an area where there are fewer comparable units nearby, or the access is better, or the layout and the livability are clearly better. So, even if the prices across Dubai slow down, this building still gets picked up. In this phase of the market, it's not about being new, it's about being distinct. That's why blending in with too many similar options around you is risky. Another factor to consider is flexibility. A good investment in 2026 is flexible. You're not under pressure to sell. You're not dependent on prices jumping too quickly. And you are comfortable holding it for a long period. When you remove urgency, you make better decisions. The best investments don't force your hands. A good investment in 2026 is not about overnight gains. It's about steady income, sensible growth, and being able to sleep at night. If you need everything to go right in the next 12 months, that's not investing, that's hoping. So, when you put all of this together, a good Dubai investment in 2026 looks like this. It makes sense for the real people, it works even if the market slows, it does not rely on hype, and it still holds up if you're patient. And most importantly, it makes sense for you, not for someone else on social media. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this video, it is this: There isn't a magic investment in Dubai, but there are plenty of bad ones if you don't think things through. If you like this kind of clear, grounded conversation about Dubai real estate without selling, without pressure, consider subscribing to my channel because that's exactly what this channel is about.